Welcome to Headphone News, Greater Vancouver edition for Tuesday, December 17, 2024.
Byelection in Cloverdale-Langley City. Today, December 16, 2024, voters in Cloverdale-Langley City, British Columbia, Canada, are going to the polls to choose a new Member of Parliament. This election is very important for the Liberal Party, led by Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, as they have recently lost two key seats. Liberal candidate Madison Fleischer is running against Conservative candidate Tamara Jansen, who previously held this position. The political situation in this voting area has changed often, with both parties enjoying strong support. The results of this by-election could greatly affect the future of the Liberal Party and its leadership. Voters will decide if the party can regain trust and support in upcoming elections.
Mount Polley disaster overview. On August 4, 2014, a catastrophic event occurred when a tailings dam at the Mount Polley copper and gold mine in British Columbia, Canada, collapsed. This disaster unleashed a staggering amount of polluted water, about 25 million cubic meters, into local waterways, including Cano Lake. Nearly 10 years later, researchers are actively studying the long-term effects on the environment. They found increased metal levels in tiny aquatic creatures that are essential to the food chain. The mine, operated by Imperial Metals Corporation, has faced legal challenges and intense scrutiny over its safety methods. This incident highlights the urgent need for stricter mining regulations and stronger environmental safeguards to prevent similar disasters in the future.
Remembering Raine, former mayor of Sun Peaks. The community of Sun Peaks, British Columbia, Canada, mourns the loss of its beloved first and only mayor, Raine, who passed away at the age of 83. He died on December 16, 2024, just one day after stepping down due to health problems caused by ALS. For 14 years, Raine led the community, playing an important role in transforming Sun Peaks into a popular ski resort. He announced his ALS diagnosis in May 2024. A tribute to his life will take place on January 15, 2025, at the Sun Peaks Center. AL's contributions to the community will be deeply missed and fondly remembered by many.
Canada sees rise in new home construction. The Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation has announced a significant increase in new home construction across Canada. In November 2024, the annual rate of new homes being built reached over 260,000 units, marking an increase of nearly 10% from October. Urban construction, which includes apartments and townhouses, climbed to about 245,000 units, up 9%. Multi-unit urban construction also grew by 11%, totaling around 195,000 units. This surge in new home building is driven by strong demand in cities and supportive government policies. This positive trend indicates a recovery in the housing market, which is essential for economic health and job creation.
Canada's new border security funding proposal. On December 16, 2024, the Canadian government is proposing 1.3 billion Canadian dollars, which is about $913 million to boost border security. This significant move responds to concerns raised by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump, who has threatened to impose 25% tariffs on Canadian exports unless Canada takes action to reduce the flow of migrants and drugs into the United States. The funding will support agencies like Public Safety Canada and the Canada Border Services Agency. Over the past year, U.S. Border Patrol has captured more than 23,000 migrants near the Canada-U.S. border, highlighting the growing security issues. To strengthen border management, the Canadian government plans to introduce changes to the Customs Act, reflecting the importance of U.S.-Canada relations and the need for effective oversight.
Bank of Canada addresses economic challenges. On December 16, 2024, Tiff Macklem, the Governor of the Bank of Canada, spoke to the Greater Vancouver Board of Trade in Vancouver, British Columbia. He stressed the need to prepare for an uncertain economic future affected by many unexpected events. Macklem thought about what we learned from the COVID-19 pandemic and highlighted the importance of rebuilding public trust in the economy. This year, the Bank of Canada cut its key policy interest rate 5 times, bringing it down to 3.25%. While inflation in Ontario is around 2%, many prices are still high. The Bank of Canada is dedicated to carefully reviewing future interest rate decisions to assist the economy and preserve stability.
Emergency landing of the Philippine Mars water bomber. A historic water bomber, the Philippine Mars, made an emergency landing near Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, on December 16, 2024. The aircraft was on its last trip to a museum in Arizona when technical problems forced it to land at Patricia Bay. The Philippine Mars is one of only 2 remaining aircraft of its kind, originally built in the 1940s for military use and later converted for firefighting. John Harper, a local resident and member of the Royal Canadian Marine Search and Rescue, witnessed the landing. The plane circled in the water for about 40 minutes before being anchored, with only 3 engines working at the time. Coulson Aviation, the owner of the aircraft, reported past maintenance issues. This dramatic event highlights the importance of regular upkeep for aging aircraft and the vital role of airborne firefighting in managing forest fires.
Search for missing person after landslide in British Columbia. A search is continuing for a missing person after a landslide hit a house in Lions Bay, British Columbia, Canada. The landslide occurred during a severe windstorm with gusts reaching up to 100 kilometers per hour. 1 body has been found, confirming at least 2 deaths. Emergency teams, including the Mounties, are actively participating in the search efforts. Several residents were removed from the area, but some have been allowed to return home. A local emergency is still in place to access additional supplies. The community is anxious for news about the missing individual as the search goes on.
Weather warnings for British Columbia. Environment Canada has issued alerts for heavy rain and snowfall across British Columbia's south coast and southern interior. Metro Vancouver and Vancouver Island are expected to receive about 70 millimeters of rain, with Port Renfrew possibly seeing up to 100 millimeters. In the interior regions, including Okanagan and Kootenay, snowfall could reach 25 centimeters. The sea-to-sky area, which includes Whistler, may get between 10 and 20 centimeters of snow. As temperatures rise, conditions may become slushy, increasing the risk of flooding. If you live in these areas, stay informed and take safety measures for potentially dangerous driving conditions.
Diesel leak at fish farm in British Columbia. A diesel leak occurred at a fish farm near Zeballos, British Columbia, Canada, due to a mistake while moving fuel. This incident released up to 8,000 liters of diesel into the water. The British Columbia government is leading the cleanup with Grieg Seafood, the farm's operator, and local indigenous communities. The Ihatasot First Nation has issued a warning about shellfish due to possible pollution. About 40 people are working on the cleanup. The conservation organization Living Ocean Society has raised concerns about the lasting effects on ocean animals and local fishing. This incident highlights the need for better safety measures when handling dangerous substances.
Terry Fox on the new $5 bill. The Canadian government has announced that Terry Fox will be featured on the new $5 bill. Terry Fox is a national hero known for his incredible Marathon of Hope in 1980, which raised over 24 million Canadian dollars for cancer research, or about 17.76 million US dollars. After losing his leg to cancer, he inspired many Canadians with his strong will. Sadly, he passed away in 1981 at just 22 years old. The annual Terry Fox Run has since raised more than 850 million Canadian dollars for cancer research. This decision to honor Terry Fox follows a public consultation by the Bank of Canada in 2020. The new $5 bill will replace the image of Sir Wilfrid Laurier, a former Prime Minister of Canada, who will move to the $50 bill. This change aims to inspire Canadians to support cancer research and recognize the important impact individuals can have in their communities.
Funding crisis in Surrey, British Columbia education. Advocates in Surrey, British Columbia, are calling for more financial support for accessible education programs. The Surrey Teachers Association and the District Parents Advisory Council are worried about growing gaps in public education. The district is facing packed classrooms and limited resources for students with special needs. To keep up with growth, the Surrey School District needs 5 billion Canadian dollars, which is about $3.67 billion US dollars. Right now, they are adding 42 million Canadian dollars, or roughly $30.8 million US dollars, to meet unique educational needs. The Ministry of Education has reported a 100% increase in funding for inclusive support since 2017, and the number of education assistants has increased by nearly a third in the past 5 years. Advocates are urging the regional government to take immediate action to support students with diverse learning needs.
Vancouver hit-and-run case summary. A tragic hit-and-run incident in Vancouver, Canada, has led to serious legal consequences for a 28-year-old driver named Alexander Romero-Areta. He has admitted guilt for causing the death of 24-year-old Ewan Byrne, an Irish man. This heartbreaking event took place on June 19, 2022, when Romero-Areta drove at speeds of up to 152 kilometers per hour while under the influence of alcohol. After the crash, he fled the scene and falsely claimed that his car had been stolen the next day. The defense is asking for a prison sentence of 2 to 3 years, along with a 5-year ban on driving. Emotional accounts from witnesses have highlighted the profound impact of this tragedy. Romero-Areta has a troubled history, with 15 reckless driving incidents in just 18 months. In December 2023, he was also convicted of sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl. This case raises important questions about road safety and accountability, reminding us of the need for responsible driving.
Backlash over Conservative MLA's Christmas comments. Christina Lowen, a newly elected Conservative member of the Legislative Assembly in Kelowna, British Columbia, is facing backlash for her remarks about a nativity scene in downtown Kelowna. The scene featured a sign that said, "Keep Christ in Christmas," which upset some community members who do not identify as Christian. In response, the city asked the Knights of Columbus, the group that set up the display, to take down the sign. Lowen defended her comments in a video on social media, stressing the importance of recognizing the Christian roots of Christmas. However, Wilbur Turner, president of Advocacy Canada, criticized her remarks as polarizing. Advocacy Canada supports the 2S LGBTQIA+ community and promotes acceptance. Other local Conservative members of the Legislative Assembly backed Lowen's position. This situation raises important questions about the role of religious displays in diverse communities and highlights the ongoing need for unity and respect for all voices in society.
Concerns about ghost guns in Canada. People are increasingly worried about ghost guns in Canada. These are untraceable firearms that individuals can make at home. The issue gained attention after Luigi Mangione was arrested in connection with the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Authorities found a possible 3D printed handgun in his possession. In 2023, a special unit led by Quebec Provincial Police arrested 45 people and seized 440 weapons, including ghost guns. A new law, known as Bill C-21, makes it illegal to manufacture or own ghost guns without a license. This law aims to tackle the growing danger these firearms present. Experts warn that advancements in 3D printing technology allow people to easily create significant parts of a firearm. The rise of ghost guns poses serious difficulties for community safety and law enforcement in Canada.
That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI.